Metroid by defeating Mother Brain and defeating Ganon and in Legend of Zelda Link to the Past, and it looks like our runners are off, so we'll get into that a little more shortly. Wolfman, start us off here. Where are these runners going to go?
Most of the runners, we all start in Planet Zebes criteria. Most runners are going to jump straight into Link to the Past by taking the path towards the map terminal here. Though some may choose to be brave and go over to the vanilla morph ball, never mind on that.
Nope, check density. These runners want to get into Link to the Past and start checking.
Alright, Lake Hylia Island, missiles. That's probably not our first set. Ooh, split decision.
Ooh, both good choices.
That was Ice Beam in Sanctuary and Spring Ball at Link's house, I believe.
Yes. Both kind of accentuating items for Super Metroid. Neither one of them necessarily required. And we already have diverging paths here. Andy is going to go check with Uncle and see what Uncle's got, and Osse is going north, probably to the woods very shortly.
Uncle's chest only had a blue rupee, not what we're looking for. But Uncle himself, well, there's the first energy tank. But I'm more concerned about this lumberjack cave.
Absolutely. Just a shield, I believe.
That was a shield. We're not gonna get the mirror shield, folks. Sorry.
Very unlikely. And now that does not eliminate an Aga seed yet. We will see how this progresses, but at least they don't need to defeat Aga from right away, from what we can tell.
Wow, Lost Woods with free bombs and Andy getting lucky on both 50-50s on the way to Kakariko.
And those 10 bombs for Osse101. Bombs are a limiting factor at the beginning of the game, and some power bombs in the hideout. Our runners need to bomb a couple of walls to open areas, get into Mini Moldorm Cave, so bombs are important early on, and so finding 10 right there in Lost Woods is helpful. That library check, was that just a missile pack?
I was actually double checking the replay for Race Game, which was a heart container, so now I'm checking the replay on library missiles.
Okay, so our runners both ended up in Kakariko Village, one from the south, one from the north. Both have bombs, and the morph ball's been discovered.
That was surprisingly quick.
So, obviously, morph ball is hugely important for Super Metroid. No progress can really be made in Super Metroid without the morph ball. So now with morph ball and a power bomb pack already have been found for Osse. Sorry, I got excited. Ice Rod.
Yeah. We're finding everything. Well, okay, not everything, but a surprising amount.
So, as I was saying, the morph ball is important to make progress in Super Metroid. With morph ball and power bombs, it opens up about 50 checks. And so these runners, at some point, after doing the basic, typical Link to the Past checks, will probably be heading back into Super Metroid.
It may take us a little bit to get there, though, as we now have double checks again. Kuko House and Well. Reserve tank and supers, respectfully.
Alright, so the runners are finding some early ammo for Super Metroid. Oh, and a medallion already!
Ether is one of the 3 medallions, and it may be what we need to get into Misery Mire and Turtle Rock.
Always nice to find those so our runners don't have to hunt all the random places. Bottle vendor with just a piece of heart today. And now our runners are going to complete the checks that we have already seen. Again, one runner came in from the north, one came in from the south. They're both going to clear out all the checks in Kakariko Village. As I mentioned, they're not going to immediately go back into Super Metroid. There are some high-density checks, easy checks to complete here in Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. So I suspect we'll see some Mini Moldorm Cave soon. Do you agree?
I do agree in the end. We still have to go into the reservoir, drain the water, get that item, and who knows, we may see one of our runners choose to make a gamble and go to Agina's cave right away first.
Absolutely, yeah. And then Sahasrala's closet also has 3 items that are behind a bombable wall, so we'll see what these runners decide to do.
What I am now curious about, considering the amount of money that we have, well, let's see, there isn't really a great farming spot for money right now. The 2 spots that I can think of, well, technically 3. We can either take care of the Houlihan room right now. We haven't found the flippers yet, so the easy spot is still accessible. But the other 2 spots for farming money, we need the Power Glove for, so we can't do that yet.
We may see our runners hold off. King Zora, without flippers and being able to get whatever might be on the ledge, he can wait a little bit. So we'll see what they decide to do. I don't know that we're going to see any farming, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. Alright, so the reservoir just had a piece of heart in the chest. Let's drain the water and see what's hiding underneath.
Andy has just picked up his ice beam. And what is all washed up? Just some extra money. We don't need it. Now, I admit, I don't like doing Mini Moldorm Cave with just bombs. But, yeah, sometimes we have to.
And if these runners... Ooh, this is not a good start. If these runners were to get a magic drop here, they do have the ice rod. Oh, goodness. Alright, 2 bombs to get it. Thank goodness. Osse got the first one. Okay. Ooh, what a sweat.
Now please say it was worth it. That's money. Bottle of red potion. That's an energy tank. A second energy tank. And a heart container, and Osse is just calling it quits there.
Not going to go for the Ice Rod Cave. Already has Morph Ball. I suspect we're going to see Osse head back into Super Metroid, and you called it. Wolfman, good call. Look where Andy's going.
I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting Andy to actually go to Agina's cave. I was just speculating.
Absolutely, yeah. Kind of out of the way. We're going to get a ledge check as well. See if there's an important item on the ledge. Just some more money.
But it's the unique 100 rupees. Doesn't that matter? Or probably not. Anyway, Osse is going to take care of the bomb chorizo. At least... Oh, that's a required bomb chorizo.
So Andy was hoping that this out-of-the-way check would pay off. Osse headed right back. Ooh, finds the mushroom. Could be interesting still. Osse headed right back into Super Metroid. Immediately found a Power Glove. Obviously, Titan's mitts are going to be required to beat the game. So Power Glove, huge early find.
And with Osse going to Omega Missiles very early, and in this case, it's Alpha Super Metroid Missiles. That just sounds wrong.
Now I'm curious, with Andy going out of the way for the desert check, will Andy go and check Ice Rod Cave as well? Again, an out of the way check. Andy's going to have low life, easy to die to the crabs. Curious to see what happens here. And that power bomb pickup is huge. So Osse headed right down towards Brinstar going this way. Gonna check the back of Gauntlet first. But those power bombs, you need 10 to 15 power bombs. Saw a bottle of blue potion in it. Nothing else real exciting up there. But the runners are gonna need 10 to 15 power bombs to make it all the way through the Brinstar area here to complete the whole loop. And so a second power bomb pack is going to be real important for these runners. Easier to manage their bomb inventory.
Oh, Andy is going to Ice Rod Cave, and Ossie's probably going to take care of early supers.
So we will see, probably see a mock ball here. Most of the runners do it. It is technically out of logic. And I miss what Andy got in the Ice Rod Cave.
Arrow expansion, while Ossie got the blue boomerang.
And attempt number 2 at the mock ball here. There we go. So this room normally expects you to have speed booster to get through it. Osse101 skipping that with a little trick. If they find any items of progress, which 3 of the 4 not so far, but it would be considered out of logic without having speed boost. This is a normal difficulty run, which affects how things are tracked in Super Metroid, and so Super Metroid does not expect you to do a lot of unnecessary tricks. But Osse101 did not find anything of progress, so we're still in logic.
In the meantime, Andy is visiting Sahasrara. What is inside the closet? Piece of heart. Piece of heart. Piece of heart.
Oh, I don't know that I've ever seen that before. All right.
I guess Andy has made a match? In the meantime, Ossie jumping over the heart container, finding more supers.
So more supers are very important until our runners get charge beam. A lot of supers are going to be required for Ridley and Mother Brain. Andy looked like they were going to go to Eastern Palace and has decided against it.
And in the meantime, for Ossie, over here's the animals. Now why don't we save them?
Alright. Ooh, there's your rupees. King Zora is accessible, which, speaking of King Zora, it looked like Andy just did a fake flipper check to get over to give the witch the mushroom.
I'm not fully sure I like this play.
Again,
Now,
very out-of-the-way checks.
Out of the way, yes, but that's not the reason I'm concerned about it. I'm concerned about it because if we kept the mushroom instead of that missile pack, which Andy immediately reset, we could potentially use it to fake flipper. But someone who does know what to do with mushrooms is Epi37. Thank you for your continued support to the Speed Gaming family.
So as you mentioned, fake powder is a trick that the runners can do if they don't find the magic powder to access the bat. Andy gave up the mushroom, just determined it was not any good, and then reset to hold on to the mushroom, so that fake powder is a trick they can perform later on.
And yes, I apologize for any minor goof-ups on word usage here. I was trying to make sure that everyone was thanked properly. Ossie right now trying to give and gain some thanks over with the wave gate. Andy saw power bombs at the front half of Gauntlet and is saying no thank you.
And I'm curious that Andy is saying no to power bombs at the front half of Gauntlet. Obviously, he's going to waste some time. But again, these runners only have... well, Andy has only seen the one power bomb pack, and is going to need some more to make this loop. So, thinking better about it? Going back up there?
Apparently so.
And Osse101 completes the Spore Spawn skip. There's that super missile block that you, by standing on the correct pixel, you can clear the way to shoot it, but it doesn't yield anything real exciting this time.
Oh, so you just stole Spore Spawn's last bombs, and Spore Spawn is still alive. You heartless.
Haha, poor Spore Spawn, never any love.
Alright. Charge beam location today. Just rupees. We haven't found a lot of good items yet, have we?
Not at all. Our runners have been very impressive with their routing so far, though. A couple of out-of-the-way checks from Andy that we're scratching our heads a little bit on, but it's early. Not a lot lost yet. A good execution we've seen so far. Gets that blue potion.
And Green Hill Zone only contained, it looked like, missiles for Aussie.
Nothing exciting, absolutely. So we have not seen a big breakthrough since the Power Glove was discovered. And notably, Andy decided to skip those checks. We'll probably get them on the loop back, but Andy did not do the Bomb Terizo before they left Crateria. And so that's a very key item that Andy is currently missing. We'll have to keep an eye on that, see how long it takes Andy to head back there.
Now, some folks in chat are concerned about Aussie's routing, choosing not to go over to Retro Brinstar and potentially visit the Billy Mays room, which has 2 items in the same room. Consider Aussie's health and ammo counts right now. It's kinda dangerous to go back up there with the low numbers currently equipped. I kinda don't blame Aussie for taking this roundabout path. Just head on over to high jump area in Norfair. You can swap games then, save, you'll be fine. Also, more power bombs at Spazer. Nice.
And I agree with your assessment there. Running low on power bombs, it was not a good idea for Aussie to try to go to Billy Mays right now. And the big jumping enemies that we've seen, Suitless, deal 80 damage to Samus. And so, while these runners are very skilled, health is a concern. A couple of mistimed dodges, and all of a sudden you take a death. And deaths in Super Metroid are incredibly devastating because these runners have not saved since they left the ship. So a death here would cost these runners 10 minutes, almost, and could determine the outcome of the race with a single death here. So our runners will play it a little carefully, I'm sure.
I question the word carefully right now. Aussie's already heading over to Kraid.
Well, I bet both these runners are comfortable with the quick kill, and so I suspect that Aussie can do this with minimal damage. And even if Kraid comes out to play, I suspect both these runners can handle it. So we'll see if Aussie can get the quick kill on Kraid. It'll be our first look.
Alright, Kraid. Let's tango.
So chat brought up an interesting point. These runners already having Spring Ball. Uh-oh.
That
All right.
was... Yep. We're tangoing even more, folks. Take care of your cha-chas and your macarenas, or... Wait, don't do macarena. Never mind on that!
But down goes Kraid. But as I mentioned, chat is pointing out something interesting. With these runners having Spring Ball, the Spring Ball jump over the moat to get into Wreck Ship is in logic. And Kraid just wanted to catch some butterflies.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to picture Kraid catching butterflies right now.
Absolutely. So, it'll be interesting to see if these runners decide, well, we have Spring Ball, and the Wreck Ship is there. Again, Fantoon is not an easy fight, Suitless. These runners, Andy up to 3 E-Tanks, Aussie having a couple. And Kraid's E-Tank is nothing exciting. But it'll be interesting to see what path these runners decide to take. A lot of interesting routing options so far.
Alright, Aussie is now entering the business center of Norfair. We will likely see the high jump area, and then perhaps a save over to Link to the Past.
Absolutely. It allows Death Mountain access in Link to the Past without the lamp. There's a good chance we see these runners attempt an in the dark rescue of the old man. And we see another medallion.
That looked like Bombos on the way down, but I didn't get a good look. In the meantime, high jump room proper. Piece of heart.
And Andy, you gonna do the wave gate glitch as well, it looks like. Farmed a few supers and first try, and you were correct. Bombos it is. I would say that our runners are probably in good shape, having 2 of the 3 medallions, but having done commentary for a weekly race this last week, I know that despite the fact that our runners had 2 easy medallions, they still had to go and find the 3rd for access to both dungeons.
Norfair exit, go ahead.
We have a Twitch Prime subscription, Trogdor the Memenator. Thank you for your support.
That was important, yes. Anyway, the energy tank was at the Norfair escape, as we are now heading over to Spectacle Rock on Link to the Past side.
And chat wanted to see it. Andy heading towards blue. Ooh!
I had missed that. What did you see? Ooh!
Speed booster! And Andy found screw attack, but speed booster for Osse101. And Andy has silvers.
Okay, silver. That's a lot of items very quick here.
Yes, alright, so let's recap. Osse101, as you can see now, grabbing the Super Metroid speed booster. Andy found screw attack and silvers. 2 huge items. Oh! And the other glove!
Oh my gosh! Retro Brinstar bringing the goods!
Absolutely. Okay, so that was Andy's silver, power gauntlets, and blue mail in the Billy Mays room. And wait, there's more. And by more, I mean 1 rupee.
It is technically more. Oh, Aussie, excellent usage of that potion.
Oh my goodness, the game is out to get Osse101. All Aussie wants to do is go rescue the old man. And as you mentioned, half magic. And Andy gonna do a spring ball jump. Or attempt it. I think we'll see a spring ball jump. So, if the runners equip spring ball in midair, it should allow them 1 use of the spring ball jump, midair spring ball jump. The timing on it is a little precise, as you can see from Andy, but Andy gets it.
Uh-oh, Ossie's in trouble. If he doesn't get the old man over there, he's gonna have to start again at the beginning of the cave.
The dodges were so amazing.
Whew.
Catching my breath after that.
Let's just calm down. Let's just calm down. It's only game 1 right now. We're barely 23 minutes in. All we're doing is now just going to Back of Escape and Retro Mother Brain.
And old Mother Brain had some more power bombs. And Andy is gonna take a look at what is at Criteria Supers.
3rd bottle found in Back of Escape, but otherwise we did find a small key. The Dark Sewers chest may have something.
And Andy sees a red rupee at the top of the long wall jump climb up to Criteria Supers. So, we've seen a lot of action so far. hopefully that means it's going to continue to be a quick seed for our runners. We still have not seen some very important items. We have not seen Moon Pearl. So our runners with Moon Pearl, Andy shortly anyhow with Moon Pearl, will have Dark World access. Because Andy, I'm guessing, heading up to back to Criteria here, is going to check Bomb Terizo shortly. And will be very, very happy.
And another energy tank in the northeast landing room.
Alright. Criteria power bombs are another E-tank, so. And Osse's gonna do the nice, very nice Shine Spark over to the gauntlet room. Now, unfortunately for Osse, did not find Screw Attack yet. Would have been very helpful for navigating this.
Oh, but look at Andy, about to get those Titans mitts.
Yup, Andy is going to be very happy.
And here's something you don't see every day. Osse leaving the gauntlet backwards.
Determine that bottle, already having, I believe 2 bottles. Now, yes, 2 bottles. Osse decides back a gauntlet. Gonna be slower, but you gotta navigate back up Terminator Room if you go that way. And so, gonna take the route back here, probably hit the ship. I wonder if we're gonna see our runners go to Wreck Ship. It is in logic due to spring ball jump over the moat, and in Osse's case, speed boosting.
It looks like Andy is going to head possibly to Wreck Ship, but we could see a red tower play. Which do you think is the worthwhile spot?
I think Wreck Tower is probably worth a check. First, maybe checking the moat and then going to Wreck Tower. And that is what we're gonna get. I think this is the correct check first.
Alright, Osse. Heading to Retro, he is about to be handsomely rewarded.
Probably going to take the time to check this and get this 20 rupee, unfortunately, but won't be a real lengthy time loss. Andy did check it as well without speed boost.
Alright, inside Plantera, hookshot!
Okay. Still doesn't give Dark World access just yet, but a hugely important item for our runners.
Alright, as Osse now has 20 extra rupees, Andy's going to Alpha Power Bombs.
2 checks here. First one not exciting. Second one not exciting. Alright, so both of our runners routing things very similarly. Yes, we're seeing things in slightly different orders, but basically the runners have checked all the same things at this point. And have been, I have to imagine, very pleased with the progress they've made so far.
I have to agree, and by the time they get done with this, where would they go next? Based off of the tracker that I'm using, we can potentially do heat runs, though they're kind of dangerous right now. There's only one remaining check in Green Brinstar that we can do within logic, and one out of logic. In logic, one is Waterway, out of logic, one is the X-ray scope. Wreck Ship does have stuff for us, especially once we take Kraid out, or Fantoon out, excuse me. I do not want to be accused of getting things wrong and keeping them wrong here.
I suspect that when our runners don't find any more progress, because we know that the runners have done most of their checks, I suspect Wreck Ship has to be the play. Andy is going to do the checks that we saw out of Osse, go back into Link to the Past, do some Death Mountain checks. Andy having the hook shot, though, does give access to a few more checks that we did not see Osse do.
And chat has been wondering about Paradox Cave, Spiral Cave. With the Titans mitts, we technically could perform a sequence break to Super Bunny Cave.
Yes, definitely Super Bunny Cave and a number of checks in the light side Death Mountain. And so that's what and now that Andy has hookshot, and when Osse gets hookshot, I suspect we will see some Death Mountain checks at some point. This could be the first big deviation in the route. Do the runners go and bank on high density checks on Death Mountain, or do our runners go into Wreck Ship and bet on Wreck Ship? Fantoon has to be defeated one way or the another, and Spring Ball kind of implies that it could be a Wreck Ship play.
Alright, Andy also going to take Kraid out for some dancing, and, well, dancing was cut short.
And that just goes to show. That just goes to show all our runners. Yeah. Oh, Osse making the play here.
Early waterway, folks, and this is in logic too.
Yes, and you may wonder how without gravity suit. Well, Osse is about to show you. You can jump up above here, charge a shine spark just in this little area, and boom.
Even pulled it off with a short charge, but it's just for a vanilla E-tank.
It's a good check to get out of the way so it's not hanging over your head when you're thinking about, man, is there anything there? Alright. So, Andy, as you mentioned, did not get the quick kill on Kraid, and that just goes to show you these are the two best runners in our tournament so far, and neither one of them successfully quick killed Kraid. So if there's tricks you can't learn, you know, if you're not as quick as some of the runners, doesn't mean you can't run the races, doesn't mean you can't be involved in the community. So definitely, if this is something that interests you, join the Discord, get involved.
Alright, I'm curious about Osse's routing right now. Obviously heading to Red Tower. Do you think he's going to go up the Red Tower, go to the wreck ship that way, go to the X-ray room, or maybe head to Link to the Past in the end?
I think we are going to see up Red Tower. I think they're trying to store a short charge Shine Spark here. There we go. And oh no, just missing. But does have Ice Beam. So we'll probably make the vanilla climb back up here.
The one thing I don't like with this item set right now, the screw attack takes out a lot of the platforms on the way up, which, without high jump boots, that's not a lot of room in order to get that few pixel wall jump that you need.
Absolutely, yeah. Osse feeling good about it though. Maybe. It's going to be interesting to see. This is right now a bit of a time waste, but one of the... Oh, and never mind. Oh, get it before... There we go. Whoo! Oh. And makes the successful climb up Red Tower. Andy also rescuing the old man in the dark, no lantern. Oh no.
Oh yeah. Why do we have to have those bounty hunter eating plants? They're not good for suits.
So Andy doing the Death Mountain checks and is about to see speed boost.
I'm actually kind of surprised Andy didn't hover to those speed boosters.
Yeah, Andy, definitely, obviously a great runner of both games. I think widely considered a little bit more of a Link to the Past expert. Not to take away from Andy's Super Metroid skills by any means, but also active in the Link to the Past tournament scene. But chose to.
Thanks, chat. I forgot. We need the Pegasus boots. We only have the Super Metroid boots.
Haha.
Alright, chat. You've wanted to see what was in Death Mountain proper? Andy's going to let you know.
So we're gonna get 7 checks, 2 in the abominable room and 5 up in the room with the Moldorms again. And it looks like, yep. Oh, Osse, you're gonna shine spark across the moat here shortly. So we are getting a deviation of the route. And let's see what's in store for Andy.
Alright, ceiling check. Well, in the ocean part, or nothing important. How about inside the ocean? Cane of Somaria!
Under the sea, Cane of Somaria. Andy's got 5 chests. Anything exciting here but some ammo? No. Alright. Cane, a very crucial item for progress in parts of Link to the Past.
And Paradox Cave had nothing. That's... Okay, a reserve tank, but most runners don't like to count reserve tanks, so effectively nothing.
I agree. Effectively nothing. Now, it's unlikely to cost Andy a lot of time because there's no way Osse101 fails to check 7 items in high density like that. But wait!
That's a Moon Pearl.
Now, we have Titan's Mitts, we have Moon Pearl, that means we have Dark World access.
And Fantoon was actually kind enough to leave that for free?
Now, I said it's not going to cost Andy time, who finds the Cave of Burna, because Osse will go do those checks. However, by Osse doing the wreck ship checks first, if Andy finds any way to make further progress in Link to the Past and does not choose to go to wreck ship for a while, this could cost Andy a lot of time, because the key item to Dark World access is hiding out in the wreck ship. Oh, we got a map check.
Thieves Town Green, Misery Mire, the other one.
That's what I saw as well. Alright, how is Fantoon? Ooh, something to note on Fantoon. Osse101 down to 1 E-tank of health left. Screw attack does help and give iframes to jump through Fantoon.
And Andy, without the Moon Pearl, is going to get some chests in Super Bunny Cave.
Oh my goodness, this fight with Fantoon is so close! And just some missiles for Andy.
Alright, Osse does have a reserve tank in play, but doesn't need it!
Ooh. Good call on the reserve tank, chat. I completely forgot about it. And Andy is going into the bottom of the castle.
While Osse is in the bottom of the wrecked ship and needs to make his way up, let's see what the rewards are.
I'm guessing we're going to see a save at some point. 1, because wrecked ship suitless can be a little bit dangerous, and 2, there are some out-of-the-way checks that if Osse goes for and they are worthless, we'll probably get a reset to save some time. But first, behind door number 1.
Our container won't complain.
Nope. A little more life in Legend of Zelda. Although looking at Andy's screen currently, lots of life acquired this game so far. And chat saying that Andy has found the lamp.
No.
Oh, no, they're talking about Aga.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
We have a number of folks that want to see an Ganon play, but in order for that to happen, we need the lantern by logic.
And Andy, who is an expert in swordless Link to the Past, a couple nice bomb placements, making their way quickly without a hammer or a sword through the bottom of the castle here. And Osse, as I predicted, made a save and heading for this check.
Ah, the wrecked ship pool of death. Oh! Andy has found the flute in Zelda's cell.
Okay, so Andy needed something there to help them save time from here on out because they're losing time constantly, not having Moon Pearl, not going to wreck ship yet, and that flute, while it will save them some time navigating Link to the Past, it's also going to there's a good chance it prevents them from making the immediate play to go back to wreck ship to find that Moon Pearl.
One of the common methodologies used when it comes to these randomizers is following the breadcrumbs. Sometimes you just have to think about the items you pick up. What will that lead you to?
And unfortunately, sometimes, as in Andy's case here, if you put off of a check and then follow the breadcrumb from a later item, as Andy is probably going to do a little bit with the flute, it could cost you more time because the breadcrumb Andy needed to follow was Spring Ball and Speed Boost to get across the moat into wreck ship. But Andy is going to follow some breadcrumbs through Link to the Past right now.
Well, who knows? Andy may get Charge Beam early.
And that would be huge. High jump boots also help some navigation. So there are some things that Andy can find that make up the difference in time here. It's going to be a very interesting development to watch going forward. But for the friends of memes in chat, the goose is loose.
Alright, Andy is now visiting the sick kid, who has the lantern.
There's our lantern. The reserve tank is just some super missiles.
So Andy is now able to logically access the one remaining item in Hyrule Castle inside the sewers.
An E-tank in the sky for Osse101.
We are now heading to one of my favorite parts of the run. And chat, I know that you like to have some fun as well. So, however, there's just one little problem. We are now about to take care of some bowling, so we technically have to give Osse a little bit of concentration. Chozo statue has the ball. Open his eyes, trying to focus on where to throw. Chozo statue about to take the approach. Currently has good form. Needs to wind it down. Andy finding various suit in the meantime.
Oh.
Chozo statue going down, too far down. And this is a fault or a gutter ball. Chozo statue, please go back and try again.
So various suit, huge fine for Andy. Again, as chat's mentioning, the flute may be found very late by Osse101 because having Dark World access now may not go check into the castle. And various suit was a huge find for Andy. So this is what Andy needed to see. Something that allows a lot of progress very quickly. And so various suit protects you from the heat of the rooms here in Norfair.
Ice beam room, only supers, but we're not going to say no to supers right now.
No charge beam. So to defeat Ridley and Mother Brain, lots of supers are going to be necessary.
And for those that are wondering, technically, without the charge beam, supers and missiles are really the only things we can use against Ridley and Mother Brain, but since those bosses don't provide any way of recharging your ammo, they are technically out of logic. Or at least a sequence break.
Yes.
Ooh, was that an X-ray scope in Crumble Tower?
I believe it was, and without having charge beam right now, it looks like Andy is going to leave it be. Alright, so Osse101, back into Link to the Past. Hookshot, gloves and Moon Pearl in hand since the last time they visited.
Yeah, Osse is about to receive triple hearts. Unfortunately, there's not a real reward for that.
Nope, would be a good hit on a slot machine, not so much in Sahasrala's closets. And we are probably about to see some very impressive movement from Andy to navigate Bubble Mountain. Ice Beam does make it easier, can freeze those enemies.
Andy, did you have to take out King Kakatak like that? Oh. Osse is now in Dark Death Mountain, but because he has the Moon Pearl, he has more checks available to him.
Yes, and so... Ooh!
That's a bow.
That is the bow. And bow is going to be required. So, a huge piece for Andy. So, what I talked about being a potential stumbling block for Andy, not having found Moon Pearl, not slowing Andy down in the slightest. Andy's checks led to Varia, Varia has led to bow, and there is nothing wrong with the routing Andy's doing.
Both runners are capitalizing on different breadcrumbs, and there's not really any mistakes going on.
No. And that's what I think we all had hoped to see from a championship match, and our runners are not disappointing at all. We are seeing some very impressive gameplay, slightly different routing, but great routing as you mentioned by both runners and the mirror.
Mirror at Wave Beam.
So
yeah,
now
Andy is capitalizing. Go ahead.
Now it becomes a matter of how fast does Andy go and find that Moon Pearl? Because again, Various Suit is taking Andy further and further away from Wreck Ship for the time being. And how long does it take Osse to go back into find the Various Suit and go back into Super Metroid? Beautiful damage boost across the gap by Andy.
Alright, so I guess we'll be seeing what's in Norfair Reserve very soon.
2 more checks in here. Andy does not want to fall in. Oh, nothing exciting. Andy not having gravity suit, this lava still does deal damage.
Yes, that is one of the changes that was made to the randomizer, because I believe in the vanilla game, the Varia suit does protect you from that lava.
I believe that's
or
accurate.
am I misremembering
I believe that's accurate, yeah. Alright, so Ice Palace is one of the 2 red crystals. And then as you and I surmised last time, Thieves Town and Misery Mire being a couple of pendants. And if our runners did a map check in Light World, I missed it.
Both runners did. Eastern Palace is the other pendant. Tower of Hera is the other pyramid crystal.
Very good. Alright. Thank you to our tracker for being right on top of things. Excellent job, Link Force.
But Andy, now with the bow in hand, is able to take out Eastern Palace. It may be a pendant dungeon, and not even the green pendant dungeon at that, but we've often seen pendant dungeons having something in there.
And we're gonna get a medallion check on Turtle Rock. It is Ether.
Both runners have access to it. But now we're also going to see Hookshot Cave.
Green pendant is Thieves Town, as Chad is pointing out, yes, to specify. Thieves Town is not just a pendant, it is the green pendant. Nothing exciting in Hookshot Cave.
Unfortunately, I had missed what was on the island outside of Hookshot Cave. There is Charge Beam in Eastern. We've already found 2 items in Eastern, and the second one is a great one.
Alright. So, the progress is still just coming in fast. Our runners are not even an hour in, and so many key items have been found.
Aussie doesn't like some of the ladies. That one in particular. If you end up talking to her, Fire Rod! All 3 items front-loaded in Eastern. Oh my goodness.
And this is a pendant dungeon, correct?
Correct. That means the big key is in its vanilla spot. And if we are if we are going to the Armos Knights, that means we're not going to open the big chest. It looks like Andy just wants to take him out.
Interesting decision here. Not a huge loss of time, but considering that Andy's found all 3 items, this is an interesting decision. Alright, so we are getting Dark World checks. Chess game is just a red rupee. C-shaped house. Just missiles. Someone in chat is asking, no, we have not found a single sword yet.
But perhaps Thieves Town will have it, considering pendant dungeons usually have something here, apparently.
Oh! Okay. Wave beam's not nothing.
The prosecution rests.
Alright, one of the 2 remaining chests is going to have the big key. 4 items total to be found in Thieves Town, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
4 in the front, 4 in the back. One of the front ones has to be a big key. And Andy gonna go ahead and there's the big key. Andy taking out Armos Knights. Silvers makes quick work.
And there was only one real item at the front of Thieves Town. The rest are in the back, which may cause a problem. Oh, wait, Ossie's taking the intentional death. Probably just going to save it for later.
Absolutely, yeah. Green pendant, not necessarily needed. And at this point in time, heading to the back with no sword might make things tricky. So, Ossie gonna go ahead and skip out on the back half. We are gonna check the bombable hut.
Spend 1, get 3. Sounds like a decent return on investment.
And actually, giving Osse101's bomb situation right now, that's not a terrible pickup. Only 5 bombs currently. Now, Ossie probably wishes they had the mirror that Andy has, because some of the fetch quest checks could be done rather quickly with that mirror. But instead, we're going to see the digging game.
Alright, Dompe, give us something good. In the meantime, Andy is going to Tower of Hera. Alright, Ossie's almost made up all the money, and 1 item out of 2 has been found. Piece of heart. And piece of heart at digging game. How vanilla.
And Andy does not have to do the basement immediately. Andy will take a gamble, not necessarily a gamble, probably take the quicker play and see if they find the second item without having to go to the basement. No coffee break yet. And we're going to get a Stumpy check. And chat, you can probably begin to get excited because I have a feeling Osse101's heading towards Hype Cave soon.
You mean the cave of questionable value?
Sometimes that is a better name for it. We shall see today.
Alright, Tower of Hera has Piece of Hearts for both rewards, but without hammer or sword, Moldorm will have the last laugh for now.
Oh, of course, yes. No hammer or sword yet. It's making it tough for these runners. Andy is going into Misery Mire. We're going to get another check to see what other medallion we need. And at the same time, we're getting Hype Cave.
Heart container. Ether for both.
Ether.
Missiles, rupees, Spazer, energy tank. 5 out of 10 hype?
I was going to call it 4. 5 is an acceptable response. Andy doing another Super Bunny check. Not rewarded. Alright, so. Nothing great in Hype Cave. Andy getting a couple of checks. The important thing we discovered, Ether for both dungeons. So, Quake, not needed.
Bombos. Yeah, Bombos is useful for Ice Palace, but we have that. And, yeah, checkerboard, looks like they chose to play chess or something.
Andy knows what's on the ledge. And Andy forgot what was on the ledge, having checked it already. Did a double check.
Nothing wrong with that. But now, Desert Palace time. Fortunately, we don't need sword or hammer for this one. We have everything already. Well, actually, we may not. Torch says...
Oh, we don't have what we need.
It depends on this first chest right here. If this is the boots or the big key, we can proceed. It's the big key, we can proceed.
We may not get all the item checks right away, but we can proceed. And that's enough of that. I guess Fire Rod can be used to defeat the Landmillas. So
Both Fire Rod and Ice Rod and arrows. Well, okay, that's 3 things.
oh, that's right.
All
They have
3 of
bow
them.
already.
Yes. Or at least Andy does. And he can take advantage of that.
So Andy has the tools necessary to defeat Landmilla. So that is what we're gonna see. Again, Andy's expertise in Link to the Past coming through here has completed swordless runs, and so Andy's right at home right now, probably loving the fact that they haven't found a sword yet. I don't know what Osse101's background is in Link to the Past, but I'm sure more than anybody, Andy feels very comfortable beating Link to the Past without a sword.
Alright, Osse is taking intentional damage here, but needs to be careful. The idea here is to defeat the ball and chain guard, get the item, and then bomb yourself to death. Or just run into the guard. Once the stun gauge, thank you, runs out.
And a beautiful fight. Oh! Hello?
Stop! It's hammer time!
Andy's routing is paying off big time. Osse101 not behind by any means, but Andy's routing has been solid and he's getting rewarded.
However, at the same time, when is Andy going to get the Moon Pearl?
That's an important question we still have to ask. Oh! Well, hello!
Double suit acquisition at the same time, gravity and screw attack. And now, Gold Terizo guarding, I could not tell what that was. Showcase Showdown, we're not going all the way around.
What a seed this is. Andy, without the Moon Pearl, Super Bunnies into Mire, uses the shed to head into Lower Norfair, and immediately rewarded with gravity. Now, as long as this does not lead Andy into Meridia, if this leads Andy into Meridia before Wreck Ship, what a disaster that could be. Because there's a good chance with the routing the way it stands, Osse101 will not go into Meridia unless it's absolutely necessary later on, and we are running out of necessary items that could be in Meridia. And so, if Andy goes into Meridia looking for, I don't know, Moon Pearl, this could be a problem. So this is a big decision. Where does Andy go? Gonna get a recharge. Is Andy going to Wreck Ship, or is Andy going into Meridia?
Nothing wrong with the recharge. Osse, I think, prepared to go to King Zor at this point, after the Ice Rod Cave check. Alright, Andy, which way? Going?
No! Oh no!
Wait!
Oh. We're gonna get a Shine Spark. We're doing some checks first. Hasn't made a decision yet. Oh, this is such a huge decision, chat. This could decide this race right now. Andy's decision on where to go with his gravity suit. If it leads Andy into Meridia, there's a very good chance that Meridia is absolutely nothing.
Let's see, where does he go? He's still going left. He's landing on the ship or closer. No, he's going left!
Oh no. This, I believe, is a play towards Meridia. Or back into Link to the Past. I may have spoke too soon, chat. Okay, we have a fake flippers check from Osse101. One of the key items that the runners are still missing are those flippers. I was trying to think what items for Go mode even could be in Meridia.
So, Plasma isn't required by logic, correct?
Correct.
Then Flippers, potentially the Pegasus boots if we get one of those situations where Big Key's on the torch.
Yep.
But otherwise...
And Andy's going to Meridia.
Not much left, yeah, not much else left for proper go mode.
Swords and flippers.
Right, 2 swords. Well, King Zora, do you have a life lesson, a love lesson, or is it Worth? Oh, hello! Worth on Andy's side, and not as much Worth on Osse side.
Andy's side does pay off with Space Jump. That will help Andy navigate this more quickly. I still worry if Andy does not find one of those required items. Even that Space Jump may not make up the time, because there's a really good chance that Osse101 does not go into Meridia for quite some time, and if that quite some time means that Osse101 finds all the required items for go mode, and does never have to go into Meridia except to defeat Dragon, this is all just wasted time. Alright, Mama Turtle room, nothing exciting there. And Osse's making the play. We're going to see Shed, and we're probably going to see some Desert Palace from Osse to get that hammer.
And in the meantime, nice Shine Spark by Andy, going to make his way over to the lab room of Meridia, as I call it, the one above the 2 sandfalls. But first, watering hole. Oh, note where Osse is. He's about to get gravity.
Oh, Osse making the quick play and is going to get rewarded with gravity suit. This run is exciting. This is what we were hoping for.
Also, yeah, we can't actually go to Desert Palace on Osse's side. No mirror yet.
Oh, Osse does not have the mirror. That's right.
I did not see anything worthwhile in Watering Hole.
No, neither did I. Alright, we are probably going to get Andy saving before the sand pits.
Oh, Osse is attempting a spine shark. Hello there, Shovel. What are you doing here?
Setting up a Shine Spark through the to get up this shaft here.
Is Osse going to take care of Lower Norfair right now?
Certainly seems that way. I don't know what the super missile count is decent. No charge beam, but if the super missile count is north of 30, it's very reasonable.
Alright, quicksand number 1. And sir, I was not trying to tongue twist my words here. I apologize. So, regarding super missile counts, the most I've seen our runners get collectively based off of item spots is 40. I may have missed a super pack along the way, but it's possible our runners may have 50.
Well, Osse has 31 at the moment. Ridley takes 30 to defeat. With at least a capacity of 35, it looks like Osse has enough and is probably going to attempt getting Ridley out of the way. The second sand pit, Andy uninterested in those items. Another reset. And this is what I worried about, chat. This is what I was concerned, is that Meridia right now not paying off.
However, I'm concerned about Osse. Remember that high jump situation in Red Tower? or lack of high jump. Same thing here, trying to get through the worst room in the game.
Yes, this is, I believe, a 3-pixel jump. And we might get a spring ball jump attempt here. Or maybe wants to turn off screw attack. Oh, no, beautiful spring ball jump. Holy cow. That was impressive. Alright, Batoon about to fall. We'll see what's at the E-Tank spawn behind Batoon. Mickey Mouse room, nothing exciting.
Alright, Andy is past Batoon. And another reserve tank, this time above the Far East Sands, as Ossie's trying to get out of the amphitheater quickly.
Remember this, chat, when we see Andy navigate this room with Space Jump later, it will go smoother. That's one of the benefits Andy will have, having found Space Jump in Meridia. But otherwise, Meridia not paying off for Andy. Probably going to go defeat Dragon. But if Andy does not find a Go Mode item here in Meridia, it's going to be an opportunity for Osse to make up a lot of time later on by skipping out of most of Meridia potentially.
Alright, Dragon left his rupees just hanging out. Osse going to check the Heart Piece of Shame. And, looking at Andy's loadout, I think we're just gonna have some, beer battered shrimp.
Yes, I think some Shine Sparks are in order here.
And Osse taking out the, Cami Space Pirates. Nicely.
Andy putting a few super missile hits in first, softening Dragon up a little bit. We'll probably see a Shine Spark. Oh, we're just seeing straight super missiles. No blue ball necessary. Andy needs to check the item behind Dragon. Andy really needs this item to be a Go Mode item.
Okay. Dragon's down. I was noting Osse's ammo counts. 32 supers to start, 65 regular missiles. Even if some supers are missed, should be okay.
Yes, and not missing very many. And down goes... No, not quite. Need a few... There we go. Down goes Ridley.
And, Dragon wasn't guarding anything worthwhile, so it all comes down to Plasma Beam. Maybe Shaq Toll if we have to go back there.
Oh, yeah, runners have...
Yet.
Correct. A lot of credit to Andy. Andy is navigating Meridia about as quickly as you can. Was not distracted by items in the sand pits, so will minimize any potential time loss. And we're not even going to get a gravity check. Andy looks like heading back into Dark World. No, I'm sorry, not a gravity check, a plasma check. Oh, well, Andy has screw attack, does have a way out of there.
You mean space jump?
Well, I was going to say, you need a way to defeat these, the pink space pirates, and, without plasma. But screw attack would allow Andy to do that.
Ah, that is true.
Because a lot of times that's a concern with an early check of that room. Not only do you need space jump or high jump to get out of there, but need to be able to defeat the pirates. So what we saw Andy do, actually, so Andy went back into Link to the Past, came back into Super Metroid for a save, and then was able to do a hard reset to restart the ship. Alright, so, Ridley down, lower Norfair checks in progress for Osse101. Where is Andy heading? Back to Link to the Past. Andy needs that Moon Pearl. The problem is that we know it's in Wreck Ship, and Andy is not making the play.
Firefully energy tank, no, just money. Yeah, I don't know when Andy's going to go back. That's the problem.
Well, I think Andy is heading back to Lower Norfair.
Yeah, that looks about right. Certainly has the equipment to pull that off. And with Space Jump can get through the worst room in the game that much easier.
Yes, we will see a quicker Lower Norfair and trip to Ridley. However, eventually Andy needs to make the play to wreck ship. I have to imagine, though, Andy's running out of checks after Ridley. There's a good, and not finding anything back here, there's a good chance Andy finally makes the play to wreck ship. So we may have our long-awaited move to wreck ship, but we're going to see another Ridley fight in the meantime.
Power bombs at the Franker Z room, and Osse believes he has enough of those, so now we're going to take care of, I guess, Upper Norfair, and maybe eventually dip down to Crocomire?
We may see a bet on Croc here. Absolutely. Osse's going to be rewarded here. Osse's going to get the bow. Yeah, Osse's going to finally... and the mirror. And so Osse's going to make the checks that Andy made earlier. This run is going to be close, and this is what we were hoping for.
And yep, Osse now with the mirror, and chat wants to see Croc.
Haha. It'll be interesting to see if Osse bets on Croc. No swords yet. I would... Man, Osse has more progress that can be made, or will definitely have more progress that can be made in Link to the Past. It's tough to see, or tough to call what Osse might decide to do here.
Yeah, right now, that Moon Pearl is the key difference.
And if you're just joining us, that Moon Pearl is in Wreck Ship. Osse101 made the call to go to Wreck Ship pretty early. The runners were given Speed Boost and Spring Ball, which both allow access to Wreck Ship. Andy made some plays to go into Link to the Past, was the first to find Various Suit, and the routes have diverged since then. They're converging a little bit now. Both of our runners getting bosses in Super Metroid out of the way, but Andy did take the time to go into Meridia, while defeating Dragon did all the checks in Meridia and did not yield anything super exciting except for Space Jump. And so we know that Andy needs to make the play into Wreck Ship to get the Moon Pearl. And, oh! Osse misses the damage boost. We're going to see another Spring Ball jump here, I'm guessing. And Andy making quick work of Ridley.
Ridley is down. And Osse, wow. I am still not used to this Spring Ball trick, but Osse putting it to work.
Yeah, both runners making good use of it. So basically, if you're in midair and have not used a Spring Ball jump, and you equip Spring Ball, it allows you to do a midair Spring Ball jump. I believe it's unintended.
Alright, chat has been asking about the shovel. The shovel could be checked.
Yep.
But I don't know the likelihood of us having a needed item there. The only needed items at this point are 2 swords and the flippers. Maybe the Pegasus boots if we have Ganon's Tower Big Key on the torch. As far as the pedestal play, which requires all 3 pendants, friendly reminder, they are in Eastern Palace, Thieves Town, and Misery Mire. The only ones that it could possibly be, flippers would be a hard requirement because of Swamp Palace. Pegasus boots would be useful, but only required if we actually need the torch. And oh yes, Ice Palace is also... we also need the flippers for that, but here's the thing. Ice Palace, we don't need the flippers once we're inside. We could fake flipper in and not care about the flippers.
Absolutely. It would be on a logic check, but well within the ability of our runners to do. Alright, so we are just seeing checks from both runners that we've seen from the other runner. Andy doing the escape from lower Norfair after defeating Ridley checks, and Osse101 is betting on Croc. Here we go, chat.
Alright, big, red, and ugly. Let's see what you got today. Chat is excited about Crocomire, let me tell ya.
Chat has a lot to be excited about today. So far, it's been a wonderful race.
Ooh, hello there, Book of Medora!
Well, it's interesting. It opens up a couple more checks. It also Desert Palace access, which will lead Osse to the Fire Rod. And to the Hammer?
Fire Rod was in Eastern.
Fire Rod was Eastern, I'm sorry. It will lead Osse to the Hammer.
Alright, so that is 1 out of 5 Croc checks covered.
Oh, chat's mentioning without a sword, can't do anything with the book.
To my knowledge, the book and sword combo is only needed for the purpose of the tablets. I think for Desert Palace... Hello, Flippers! Croc was guarding them!
Oh, bet on Croc was good today! Alright, now this is another check that Andy checked Crumble Mountain already. The chances of Andy coming back to do Croc are also small. Although, as I say that, we may be seeing Croc from Andy right now. Let's find out. Oh no, Andy, don't do it.
Andy has gone back to Link to the Past.
We know that both items Andy needs, looks like did a hard reset. I bet you Andy's going to Wreck Ship. Okay. This is okay, chat. It looks like Andy's gonna go to Wreck Ship.
And Osse is preparing for Indiana Jones here.
Oh.
Stopped a little soon, I guess. Redo.
Alright. One more check. But Croc has paid off.
Ooh, Osse was just a little short. Has to go back and try again.
No high jump boots. Makes things interesting. Oh, try to get a damage boost. There we go.
But now Andy has Kana Samari and is soon about to get the Moon Pearl final item, Energy Tank.
Alright. So, Andy's doing one of the 2 checks that we know has to be done. The other is Andy's going to have to go back and bet on Croc at some point. I just worry, having already checked Crumble Tower, Andy may take a while to do Croc. Because Andy, once Moon Pearl is acquired, can do a lot in Link to the Past. But again, as you mentioned, Flipper's not necessarily required. Could do fake flippering. Maybe Andy never goes and gets them.
So, regarding Norfair checks, a Norfair exit is another... that... it didn't have anything important. What about, I'm going to get the name wrong, the steeple check before Bubble Mountain? Was that checked?
Oh, the cathedral! No! We have not seen a cathedral check yet. Interesting. Good call.
And just to clarify, the pendants are Eastern Palace, Thieves Town, Misery Mire.
Oh, that's right. Swamp Palace is required, and flippers are required for Swamp Palace. You can't fake flipper through Swamp Palace.
At least I don't know of a way to yet.
So Andy is gonna have to come back here. All right, we're gonna get the exit here, and which was an E-tank, if I'm not mistaken. Ooh, this is such a difficult short charge. Alright, so for those wondering what Osse is trying to do, Osse is trying to store Shine Spark. The game only checks on certain pixels of Samus's animation to see if you are dashing in terms of trying to store Shine Spark. And so, by stutter stepping and only holding dash on certain pixels, Osse can trick the game into thinking that they've stored a Shine Spark. And the smaller the area, the more difficult it is to do. Osse was trying to get it in a very, very small area. Could not complete it. But, there we go. Gets the speed boost. Shine Spark, and now can go backwards up to Crumble Tower.
In the meantime, Andy has gotten that Moon Pearl, so Dark World is fully open for him.
Gonna go ahead and do the rest of wreck ship checks. Not gonna find anything exciting, if I recall correctly.
And Osse now with the X-ray scope. So, if we find the plasma beam, we may be able to microwave Dragon.
Yes. Andy gonna make this made the save already. Gonna go check this for a red rupee and then turn around and reset to come back. Someone in chat wondering who is winning. Way too early to tell. I would, if I had to make a prediction right now, I would say Osse101 slightly ahead, having found flippers in a slightly out of the way location. Andy's done some interesting routing. Some of it's paid off, some of it hasn't. But way too early to tell still.
And Shaktol has not been checked. We are missing the grappling beam for logical access.
Yes, our runners may be able to, with Ice Beam, may be able to clip into it, but logically they will not find any progression items on Shaktol without having the grapple beam, and so it's very unlikely we'll see our runners check it unless they acquire the grapple beam at some point. Oh, alright. Osse, not going to make the play back into Link to the Past, going to go ahead and start hunting in Meridia. Going to be rewarded with Space Jump, but my guess is they make all the checks here, and all that time that we were afraid Andy might be losing is now going to be lost by Osse as well.
Do remember, we're still swordless nearly 90 minutes in. We kind of need 2 swords in order to finish this on Link to the Past side.
Yes, and that's a good reason for these runners to be making many checks still. Despite the fact, and Osse not as close to go mode as Andy is, in terms of non-sword items. We just happen to know that Andy already has several items that Osse can acquire. But Osse will not acquire them here in Meridia.
The only way that we may see something in Meridia is Plasma Beam Room. And, oh! I did not see Andy go into the bowling alley.
I don't believe Andy did go into the bowling alley. So, we know that is not a problem, but wow, what a risky maneuver, skipping bowling alley.
Well, someone who has not made a risky maneuver is Highway Robbery. Thank you for your continued support with the Speed Gaming family.
So, chat pointing out that Eastern is a pendant dungeon, not a green pendant dungeon, and Fire Rod, which is a required item, is in Eastern Palace. So it may take Osse quite some time to check that Andy did make and get out of the way. And so that's an excellent point.
And now with hammer and bow in hand, Andy is going to get his second crystal in Palace of Darkness.
A number of item checks in Palace of Darkness. Good opportunity for a sword in here. Now that our runners have hammer, it's not as crucial, but we'll need to see a couple of them, as has been mentioned by Wolfman, to beat the game.
Alright, Osse is about to do the quicksand checks, as Andy is now in pop. 5 items in here, 6 keys. 4 of those keys are guaranteed to be in the front half.
Starting with the big key.
That technically means Palace of Darkness is bow locked. There are sequence breaks in order to get the mimics out of the way, but with the bow in hand, we don't need to worry about.
Alright, Osse discovering that the first sand pit is completely unexciting. Canadian Owl SRL in chat wondering who's winning. At this point, it is way too close to call. Definitely not a clear favorite.
I would say the winner, or winners, is everyone watching.
Absolutely.
And perhaps and I think both of our runners, because they are certainly giving us an excellent showing here. Please, give them a follow if you haven't already.
The seed is winning. Yeah, this has not been a terrible seed to our runners. It's been a pretty generous seed. We didn't have to do Aga. Probably don't have to do Pedestal. Other than hiding the swords. So Batoon down for Osse. Andy making quick work of Palace of Darkness.
Alright, is this a 1-to-1 key? Yes, it is. So I believe the final front key should be right there.
Excellent call.
Alright. Looks like we're going to have some more beer-battered shrimp on Osse's side. No plasma, no grapple beam. Gotta do it the old-fashioned way. Oh! Andy, with these pause strategies, is going to attempt what is known as the Palace of Darkness Hammer Yump. Basically, try to save a small key, get across to the big chest, like that.
Beautifully done.
And that was the first item we found, actually.
And
There's the second.
Osse looks like trying Shine Spark strats. Missed with the first Shine Spark. And gonna sword! Doing something. Oh, we got our first sword!
First sword in Dark Maze.
An hour and 34 minutes into the game, and the first sword has been discovered.
Uh-oh, Osse has to be very careful, low on health.
And down goes Dragon. All right. All right, so Andy has our first sword. A quick update for anybody just potentially joining us. A couple of the key items that have been found that might determine this race at this point. Flippers are behind Crockmire. Osse101 has done that. Andy has not. Fire Rod is in Eastern Palace. It's a pendant dungeon. Andy's completed it. Osse101 has not. I would say right now, the person who finds the opposite of those two required items that they are missing, we may consider them slightly ahead. Until such time, I think it's way too early to determine a leader.
However, one thing we can determine is, thanks to that sword sighting, the pedestal play is kinda sorta dead at this point.
Yep. Alright, one more sand pit to navigate here. It'll be Osse's way out of Meridia.
And this is Osse on the right sand pit. Does he know the sequence break to go into Shaktol? Well, if he does, he's not doing it. Just making the... Oh, wait! He's going up! He's actually doing it! I think... No, that's not the way. That's the pipe. Never mind, He had to go the other way.
Alright, so Andy on Helmasaur here. A little low on life, but no worries for Andy. Silver arrows. One silver arrow, pardon me, after the mask is off. Osse101 did not want to fall that far. Osse101 is checking the plasma room. What could we potentially have? Vanilla plasma beam.
It's possible, but that would be kinda nasty if it was. Oh, 50 rupees is even worse.
Agreed. One more pirate. Oh, troll. There we go. Alright, is Andy heading for Thieves Town? Or Skullwoods? Andy could do Skullwoods, has the fire rod. And that's where Andy's heading.
To answer the question about what Andy has done in Meridia, the only checks that he hasn't done is Plasma Beam, which we've just confirmed is 50 rupees, and Shaktol, which we don't have logical access to. But note how Andy is moving, just going straight to back half of Skullwoods, not even caring about front half.
Yeah, with only 2 items to be discovered here, worth beating the boss and then doing your item checks coming out typically is I think with the determination a lot of these high-level runners have made. I've seen this a lot here in the tournament. Alright, so Osse101 has checked all of Meridia.
And is about to head over to Dark World, Link to the Past. And the good thing here, this sets him up for Ice Palace. He does have Vamo, so can clear it. Wait, he can't clear it. No hammer.
Oh, no hammer yet. That's right. So, are we getting a catfish check?
Yeah, catfish would make sense over here.
Probably hoping Catfish has a sword.
And yes, right, no sword for Bamos. I got the part where he couldn't finish Ice Palace. That's kind of an important thing, too.
Alright, Andy. Hammer strats? Yeah, hammer strats on Mothula. Quick work done. Wow. Great. Ooh, high jump boots. That is actually really sad.
Those are not the boots we're looking for, Catfish. You disappoint us.
I can't even get excited about those boots. They're basically done with Super Metroid at this point. Osse literally just has to beat Mother Brain.
However, Osse is in the right position to take care of Palace of Darkness and Eastern, so won't be too much of a time loss.
Let's hope they decide that Eastern's a quick enough palace, and having the bow to clear it is going to be worth a clear, at least for the items. I'm still surprised that Andy full cleared Eastern. Ooh, we're going to get a ledge check.
One item was found in the back of Skull Woods, just a piece of heart. So one's up front. Magic powder on the pyramid ledge.
Alright, so this is going to make the trip through Ganon's Tower easier, turn some of those anti-fairies into fairies to conserve some life. More importantly, it does open up a check without having to use fake powder.
And to answer a question from chat, no, Andy does not have the Book of Mudora. You have to beat Crocomire for that.
Yes, Croc is holding the book and the flippers. Power Bombs looks like it was the second item in Skullwoods, so Skullwoods is done. Where does Andy head from here? I don't know that Andy's checked Hype Cave yet.
Well, he's about to enter the warp that'll let him do so.
We know it's hard to get excited about Hype Cave, but I think we're going to get that check again from Andy.
Alright, Osse is in Palace of Darkness now.
And I would be surprised if Osse does not come out of here and mirror to Eastern Palace.
Andy has swapped positions. Over to Death Mountain, with sword in hand, can take out Tower of Hera, Moldorm, but no Moon Pearl yet.
Andy has Moon Pearl now. Went to Rex Ship and got it.
Does. Right. So
we're probably gonna see Dark World Death Mountain checks because Andy has not done Hookshot Cave or many of the Dark World Death Mountain checks.
Now, would you do Turtle Rock at this point, or? Yeah,
I don't think so. Trying to think what other checks. Andy, about the only checks in Super Metroid Andy hasn't done is Croc. You probably check the medallion here to make sure that you don't need to hunt for another medallion to open it. Maybe you do Turtle Rock, thinking that maybe that's where your flippers are at. I don't know that I would make that call just yet, but Andy's already found the items in Tower of Hera. Well, we're gonna get it opened at least. We may see the check. Andy can't do Swamp Palace. I guess Andy has three of the crystal dungeons down. Can't do Ice Palace or Swamp Palace without the flippers. Tower of Hera, he knows the items already, so I guess this does make a lot of sense.
Remember that Andy could do Ice Palace by fake flippering, but the only things that we'll find there at best are swords, Pegasus boots, red
Correct. Yeah, knows that they're not. Andy will not find flippers in Ice Palace because logically flippers are required to get there. And so I think at this point Andy's looking for the flippers and is going to put off that Crockmire check for quite some time. And so because Andy is in go mode, if assuming the key is not in a very specific spot in Ganon's Tower, Andy will be in go mode as soon as flippers are acquired.
But note where Osse is. He's about to get his first sword.
And the only sword we found so far. This is kind of unreal that it took Andy over an hour and a half into the game, and now Osse over an hour and 45 minutes into the game to find the sword. I have to imagine that after this, Andy probably goes and does Croc. Doesn't have many other checks that can be done. Hopefully, there's not much Andy can find that would really open up more checks, because we know Andy's not going to find Book.
And missed out on Powder.
And, yep. Still has the mushroom, so could fake Powder. I guess, yeah, Andy could start to do fetch quests. It'll be interesting to see if Andy does fetch quests first, or goes and does Croc. Oh, and as chat's pointing out, Andy technically could go do Pendant Dungeon. Would Andy do Thieves Town? Probably do Thieves Town Pendant Dungeon before doing Croc 2.
Yeah, Thieves Town has 3 remaining items, plus it's the green pendant, so that's a 4th.
Yes. And normally I don't know that this would come into play. As I mentioned earlier, Andy is definitely a Link to the Past expert. Not bad at Super Metroid by any means. Can't get to this far in the tournament with being bad at Super Metroid. But I wonder if Andy's expertise in Link to the Past is going to affect the routing here. Is Andy more likely to do Link to the Past checks before going back to check Crockmire? Because of the comfort level.
Note where Osse is!
And Osse did mirror back to Eastern. This is huge. Alright, I believe right now this is the first time in this race we can definitively declare a leader, because while Osse does not have the hammer yet, this is one step closer to go mode and a very important step for Osse101.
Yeah, Osse is about to get the Fire Rod, and what was in here again? Oh yes,
Charge
the Charge Beam.
Right there, yeah, Charge Beam and Fire Rod.
And the hammer was located on Landmola's.
And so Osse has Sword and the Book and everything to go do Desert Palace. Desert Palace is a crystal. I'd be surprised if Osse doesn't head there probably right after this. Just flute on over. And so we may have a go mode shortly in 5 to 10 minutes.
One other thing to keep in mind, Andy has already taken out 3 of the crystal dungeons here, as Osse had to leave Palace of Darkness because of no hammer.
No, Osse left Palace of Darkness because they found all 3 items, and Palace of Darkness is not required.
No. Eastern Palace isn't required. He got all 3 items.
I'm sorry. Oh, yes. Yeah, yes. Palace of Darkness. Okay. And Osse is going to go back to Thieves Town. Uh-oh. And as someone... Skullwoods, because of the Fire Rod. Okay.
Fire Rod and Sword, all you need.
Yes. As chat pointed out, it is also important to note that Osse may wait till Boots to go back into Desert, which could be a bit scary.
Chat does bring up a good point. While the pedestal may be dead, Osse may end up checking it.
Osse may mirror back into a ped check? Absolutely.
But in the meantime, on Andy's side, we are approaching the laser bridge. Will he take the safety exit in the back? Kinda low on health, so I would consider it. No, he's just going straight for it.
I believe Andy does have at least one red potion to use in a pinch.
Alright, that's one of the remaining items in Turtle Rock. Energy tank is there. Trinex has the final item.
Yep. There's a key here. We're gonna see that red potion? No. Now we'll see it. Okay. Now, this fight is not gonna be easy. We're gonna see hammer strats on Trinex.
Now, I know that Andy knows swordless strategies, but Trinex is not an easy boss, even with a sword. If you're not careful, you could easily be booped and booped and booped and...
Again, Andy's expertise in Link to the Past is about to be shown off, I think. Andy making quick swaps and quick work. Alright, Osse used up the magic bar that they had on Mothula. And there we go. Couple bosses down simultaneously.
Not exactly. You forgot it's try next, not duo next.
Haha. Fair. Nearly simultaneously. There was one stage I did get excited about. There we go. Power bombs was the last item. So, Andy, as we knew he wouldn't, does not find the flippers. Alright, so Osse's gonna find the couple items here in Skullwoods. And then where do they head?
That is a very good question. Because I'm just trying to think about where they would try to go logically. Oh, here comes the pedestal check, folks.
Is there a sword on pedestal?
Oh, that would be kind of ironic and funny if it was. Nope.
Just some couch cash. Alright. Where are you heading, Osse? Thieves Town?
Osse is going to get the final items. Skullwoods had Piece of Heart and Power Bombs, I believe.
I believe Osse started in the front and found Power Bombs in the front before moving to the back. I could be mistaken, but I think Osse was checking the front some before heading right to the boss. And it certainly looks... Nope, maybe not. No, pet is dead. We just got a pet check. Just couch cash. Flippers are behind Kruckmeyer.
And there has been some discussion in chat regarding Desert Palace logic. It was a small key on the torch, but the big key was in the free chest. Does the logic expect you to have boots in that case?
I don't believe so. No, I believe it expects you to check and see if boots are required, but I don't believe it expects you to have the boots. Okay, well, chat's saying it is logically locked by boots. I might be thinking hard mode logic.
But hard mode only applies to Super Metroid side, so...
Oh, yes. Yeah, so... Oh, but doesn't Mirror and Dark World Access allow... I'm pretty sure that Mirror allows access into Desert Palace without the boots.
The issue, I think, deals with the potential key logic.
Key logic, yes. But I believe with our runners having access to Mirror, as we get a graveyard ledge check from Osse101. And Andy, I think Andy's doing it. I think Crockmeyer is about to go down.
Okay, to attempt to explain why I believe the key logic is an issue, even with the mirror or the book, you could go to the back, get the key, bring it to the front, use it on that key door, and then you can't finish Desert Palace until you find the boots.
Yes. I suppose that is the key logic. Alright, so Andy is actually going to be the first one. Oh, Osse101 doing fetch quest. Yep. I hope one of these gives him boots quickly. Otherwise, Osse101 is going to be behind.
Oh! Note where Osse is going. He is going to sacrifice the mirror position and visit the Mad Batter. As Andy is celebrating getting the Book of Mudora. Strange way to celebrate, that's for sure.
Just another bottle. Hammer was on Lamela and Desert Palace. Also, Desert Palace has the hammer. Alright, Andy is going to find the flippers very soon. Oh, and there's the boot! Oh, that's huge.
Blacksmiths forming...
Okay, so, an hour and 56 minutes and 36 seconds. We have go mode for Andy.
No, we don't. We're still missing a sword.
Oh, wait. That's right. We do need the second sword. But boots is huge because Osse101 is making the play that has to be made to keep them on pace with Andy. And that is to go find the hammer.
So at this point, this race isn't over yet.
Not at all, but it is going to be close because these runners are basically going to be one sword short of go mode. At a very close time differential from one another, so.
And what if Desert Palace has the next available sword? That gives Osse a potential advantage.
Absolutely. What a back and forth race we've had here. So chat asking, can't the remaining crystal dungeons have swords? The remaining crystal dungeons could have swords, but if our runners can clear those dungeons without having to make a lot of...
I called it! I called it! Desert Palace had a sword!
Oh my, okay, so what this does is this allows Osse101 to go mode clear all the dungeons from here on out. They do not have to check for another sword. So, and I don't expect them to. It is not real go mode yet. It is not real go mode yet because Osse doesn't have the hammer yet. So we know where the second sword is. But Andy doesn't have that one yet. So we're in no mode. But we're not in go mode yet. Andy is going into Swamp Palace.
My apologies for getting a little excited there, folks.
Not at all. No, it's a lot to get excited about.
Well, I apologize to chat anyway. They understand why.
Alright, first item in Swamp. Just a piece of heart. So chat mentioning sword locations and things. So the swords could be just about anywhere at this point. There's a good chance that both swords left are still in Ganon's tower. So while the swords could be anywhere, as soon as our runners find their second sword, as Osse has, there's a good chance that they just start full clearing these dungeons as quickly as possible, and are happy with 2 swords to get to Ganon. And so Osse101, we are going to get an official go mode. 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 54 seconds with the acquisition of the hammer. Osse101, as I incorrectly stated earlier, is now in go mode, as the first runner in go mode.
So the big question is going to be, will we get a sword before Ganon's tower? If we do not, what is on the Ganon's tower torch? That is going to potentially determine what happens to Andy.
Yes, there is a very small chance that the lack of boots determines this race. If the big key is on the torch, then this race is 100% Osse101's.
But if it's a sword, and our runners don't find any other swords, Osse will at least have a little bit of time, because Tempered Sword will still, deliver damage quicker.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. That'll give Osse another advantage. So if there's a sword or the big key on the torch, Osse has a huge lead. As it stands now, I don't know that we could even give out an official lead at this point. Andy's well ahead on dungeon clearing, but is missing that second sword. So this is going to be interesting right down to the end. What a first race this has been. For those of you just joining us not familiar, this is the first race in the finals. This is a best of 5, so it's the first one of these runners to win 3 of the head-to-head races. And so, lots of exciting races still to come. And if all the races are going to be as exciting as this one, we're in for quite a show over the next week to 10 days.
Alright, Andy up against Argus now.
And Andy's showing off some more swordless strats, despite having a level 1 sword. Fighter sword. Andy is electing to switch to the hammer, taking down 2 puffballs at a time.
Now, what could be an even worse, basically worst case scenario for Andy right now? It would have to be big key on torch, both remaining sword upgrades on the tablets. That would be the worst case for Andy.
Yes, or both remaining swords being buried deeper in Ganon's tower. Because if Andy sees I guess Andy would probably check Ganon's tower for boots. So, yeah, I guess it is just tablets as worst case scenario.
And the reason I say swords on tablets, to my knowledge, you need Master Sword in order to get the tablets.
I believe so. Oh goodness, this one is going to come down to the wire. Andy is going to finish the dungeons much earlier, but does Andy ever find a second sword?
Well, Andy's in Ice Palace, the last of the necessary crystal dungeons. We're gonna have to pay attention to Andy's movement after this.
For those of you in chat asking, boots were on the blacksmith check. Osse started the fetch quests, and thankfully didn't have to go too far into them before finding the boots, and wisely made the decision to go right to Desert Palace, finding Hammer, which Andy had already found.
Ooh, Magic Cape. Have we even seen what Bumper Cave had?
I don't believe so. The runners have had Cane of Burner for quite some time, but I don't believe anyone checked Bumper or Spike Cave.
Osse now taking care of Swamp Palace. Go ahead.
It's going to be interesting to see someone in chat mention, does Andy full clear Ice Palace looking for a sword? What we know is that Osse101 is not going to full clear any dungeon from here on out. They're in true go mode. They have the sword upgrades required to beat Ganon. And so they're going to burn through these dungeons as quick as possible. But how much of Ice Palace does Andy do?
And can he get the bomb jump?
It is a pixel perfect alignment here. Oh, is this nerve showing for Andy? Alright, gets it after a few falls.
And Osse is pure go moding Swamp, not even checking the side chest.
Grabbing that key before they flood it, and off we go.
Ooh, Andy was attempting the ice stair clip, but looks like it didn't get aligned exactly, so has to take the slow way around. And Andy is just going straight for Cold Stare.
Yep. Andy is really probably banking on finding one more in Ganon's tower. He's going to use bombos to break the ice. And then probably Fire Rod to help take out. Yep. Get them all in the corner and use the Fire Rod. Again, this fight made a lot tougher by the fact that Andy only has Fighter Sword, but wow, what quick, great work made of Cold Stare.
Alright, that is 7 crystals. Let's confirm the movement before we start it. And what do I mean by starting? Please, wait a second, I know what you want. Chat, you have to wait for the command.
No, don't get in a hurry yet, chat. We haven't started the command yet. Alright.
We can start the command.
We can start the command. There we go. Now get your guesses in, chat. In case anyone is wondering, what we're doing is the big key in Ganon's tower could be one of any of 22 locations, and so you can get your guesses in as to where it's going to be. There's a leaderboard. Your guess will only count for the leaderboard if you are subscribed to one of the speed gaming channels or have made a donation of at least 250 bits.
So, I don't know who is going to end up winning this, thanks to everyone trying to guess a little ahead of time.
I don't know either, but we'll find out shortly.
I will
What's
admit
your guess?
I guessed 3. I want to see right side 2 checks, then torch.
Then torch. That's what I guessed during the weekly race. I think I'm going to guess 13 today.
Yeah, well, my normal guesses lately have been closer to 10, which usually puts us in the rando room.
Yep.
But I don't even know if I got my 3 in time.
Alright. Get your final guesses in, because we've got to stop the game right about now.
I can push it a little bit more. I am not actually going to go through the final command until we see it on the full stream. Right side, energy tank and small key. Andy is going to ruin everyone's guesses, folks.
So Andy's going full right.
And remember, this is being done without boots, which is kind of tricky. Fire Rod does help.
Yeah, I don't think with... Oh, yeah, Fire Rod, definitely. But not an easy trick still, without boots. Alright.
3 is compass, 4 missiles, 5 20 rupees, 6 bombs.
Whew, scary start for Andy here. Alright. Is it the evil number 7? Is it the lamp?
What's on that torch? And it is... small key!
Okay.
It was vanilla!
So it was not check number 7. Alright, 8. Map. 9 is missiles. 10 is missiles. 11's a bunch of rupees.
Osse also going through Ice Palace very quickly.
That's number 12 was just a key.
And remember, folks, Andy is still looking for a sword at the same time. So even if Andy does get the big key, he may open Ganon Tower's big chest.
That was 13?
13.
Yep.
14 through 17 in Rando Room, 18 above Armos Knights, 19 through 21 beyond Armos, 22 Tile Room, because it's always 22. $14.
There
Big
it is.
key. He's still playing. 15. Still single arrow. 16, 17. Pointless.
All right. All right.
And our winner today is... I know I need to use this name, but Silver Moron, you are not a moron for getting that right.
All right. Now this race is going to come down to, can Andy find a sword? Still doing all the chests. If there's a sword in Ganon's tower, Andy's going to be ahead. Oh no! Oh, grapple beam. Shaq Tool might have a sword. I'm sure Andy does not want to head to that. As Chad is pointing out, one of the swords that Andy could be looking for was boots locked in Desert Palace. Andy cleared desert without boots, so did not find it. No sword! Oh no!
The only 2 checks left in the basement, Tile Room and Big Chest. And Andy Big Chest is on the way. Andy's going to go for that. Will he do Tile Room? He's not.
Oh, there's...
He's going on up.
Yep, the chest after Moldorm 2.
Great, we have to deal with Moldorm's last possessions too?
There are several chests upstairs, but... Oh, goodness. Is there some way Ganon is defeatable swordless? Because Andy would know how to do it if there was.
There's a dedicated swordless mode, but that's only on Link to the Past rando, not the combo.
Okay.
And you have to explicitly choose swordless. The reason why we're talking about swords, Ganon is not vulnerable to Fighter Sword. Master Sword, minimum.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I wasn't sure on that. I knew that swordless seeds existed. Didn't know if that was had to be a setting in a rando. So it is. And so Andy, there is no way around it. Needs a sword upgrade. We know where one of them is at. Andy's looking for one of the other two, most likely.
However, we won't be able to find it until we get through this gauntlet.
In the meantime, we've been really focused on Andy. Osse101 into the final dungeon of Turtle Rock here that needs to be completed to unlock Ganon's tower. Oh no, wait! Tower
of Hera, but that's on the way effectively. Osse's not losing that much time.
And we know that Osse does not have to do the coffee break in the basement of Tower of Hera. They'll find the big key and can head right up to the boss.
Alright, Andy going to take on Lanmola's.
And as Andy did the first time, made quick work of the Lanmolas with 3 silver arrows. Beautiful one cycle. So while it looks like Andy is ahead, chat, we are on the edge of our seat in case you're just joining us or wondering what's happening here. Andy is not necessarily ahead because Andy does not have a second sword upgrade, which is required to beat Ganon. So if Andy does not find another sword upgrade in Ganon's tower, things are about to get very interesting because Andy has to go find a second sword. And we only know of one other location in Desert Palace. There are a number of other odds and ends checks that Andy could do. But another thing holding Andy up is the fact that Andy did not find the boots. My guess is that one of the first checks Andy would do would be to start the fetch quest and find the boots pretty quickly. But is it going to come to that?
Andy just has 2 quad torch rooms to deal with, and then we can start raiding the final chests. And yes, folks, Ice Palace could have a sword. Both Osse and Andy chose to go through it blindingly fast, only got the cape out of there. Helmasaur chests available. Number 1, bombs. Number 2, super.
Oh no!
Approaching the consolation chest. Andy has to wait, doesn't have the powder.
Oh no! Only one more chest left! If it's not here, this could be the race. And even if
Andy had the boots, has to defeat Moldorm to claim it.
Here we go, chat. This could be the race right here. If this chest is not a sword, Andy's gonna have to leave Ganon's tower.
Alright, we're actually going to raid Moldorm's last possessions. Andy!
Oh,
a big 20!
Oh no!
The hunt is on.
This doesn't rule out Andy necessarily. But... oh... Aga will be defeated first. Down go the first two parts of Trinex. Oh, what a great start to the Aga fight. 3 hits on the first cycle. Oh no, he just 2-cycled Aga.
That's a double triple. Nicely done. Or is that a triple double?
All right. Holy cow.
Alright. Andy knows his mission.
Does the powder lead Andy to the sword? Not even gonna get it. Has the mushroom, can fake powder if necessary.
At this point, yeah, the powder would just be, you know, almost a time waste, sad to say. And Andy is going to Swamp, I think. I mean, either Swamp or Pyramid. That's Swamp Palace Revisit, I think, folks. Or, nope, swinging around. We haven't seen the, Haunted Grove Cave yet, after all.
Andy never checked Stumpy. Or the shovel check, maybe? K45?
We haven't done Shovel, you're right.
But not gonna do that check?
Going to Grove Cave first.
Okay.
And then maybe jump off to go for Shovel. It's not necessarily a bad play. And we'll still take those supers. Oh boy, chat is ribbing on Andy. They want to see what's underground.
And Andy's gonna do fetch quests. Oh, Andy hasn't done the digging game either.
We know that's a piece of heart.
Alright, Moldorm 1 down on Osse. Chat asking how Super Metroid is. If you're just joining us, both these runners have done everything but Mother Brain Super Metroid. Andy is looking for a second sword upgrade to be able to defeat Ganon. And Osse101 just completed the final dungeon, for final crystal dungeon, pardon me, and is about to go into Ganon's tower. How quickly does Andy find this sword?
For reference, the only checks left on Super Metroid side: Cathedral Lava, X-Ray, and Shack Toll.
Andy has not checked Plasma either. We know that that's not a sword, but Andy has not checked it yet.
So the big question: how quickly can Osse beat Ganon's tower? If it's quicker than Andy finding a sword...
Ooh, he's not going full right. That's gonna help.
Hammerpeg Cave's not having anything either. Alright, focus on Andy now. He has the boots. Where is he going? Alright, back to the brewery.
Yeah, Andy hasn't done a lot of these checks, thinking that he could have easily missed it at one of these checks. Osse did all these checks, and we know they're not here. The only sword, chat, that we know about is in Desert Palace, locked behind the boots. We have not seen the back half of Thieves Town at all. One of the runners, Osse, did the front half, I believe.
I believe so, but there wasn't too much to write home about in front half Thieves Town.
No, but we may be seeing the back half here shortly.
Alright, Osse is about to get the big key of GT.
Andy would need to find a sword in one of the first checks in the back half of Thieves Town to still be in this race, I believe.
Right, Wave Beam does help a little bit with damage, but... yeah, that's not what we're looking for.
Not at all, nope.
And one fine day, the only place we haven't checked in Ganon's tower for a sword was Tile Room. It may very well be that Andy left one on the table.
There is that possibility. What a first race to start off this final series.
And yeah, Andy is going to be our first one into the back half.
Alright. If Andy finds a sword, maybe in any of these 4 checks, there's still time.
Alright, Andy heading over to effectively the sunroof.
We should still have 3 items in the back half of Thieves Town here.
That is correct. I believe we have a compass and a sword!
Oh, there it is! Okay. Is that early enough? It might be.
I think so. Andy has easy access to, you know, the Swamp Palace portal. He's heading there right now. And Andy can pull this off to take a 1-0 lead.
Osse101 with a 1-cycle animal fight. It's not over.
And as Osse's...
it comes down to execution.
Yeah, all Andy has to do, keep calm, take out Ganon, take out Mother Brain. Sure, it sounds easy, but we're talking the finals here. Losing nerves can be bad. So for now, let's have a little bit of levity. Ganon, words of the day, let's go. Talking about cheese, apparently. Alright, Andy has to deal with the 4 phases of Ganondorf. Distraction, destruction, wait, this isn't Wind Waker Rando, my apologies. And in this case, it's the Trident Throw, the Fire Spins, the Crumbling Floors, and then the Darkness Technique.
Alright, Osse101 onto the Moldor 2 fight.
And Andy has to be careful.
I believe has a red and a blue potion still, at least.
That may be, but that is still blue mail. I believe if he touches Ganon, that's 4 hearts of damage, and that's an insta-death. So
Chat saying
it's
just the blue left for Andy.
yeah. As long as Andy is careful with movement, he has this.
All right, Osse on to Aga. Remember, Andy had a ridiculously strong Aga 2 fight.
And unfortunately, Aga 2 is not playing nice for Osse.
And Andy's onto the Silver Arrow stage. 2 hit. Oh! Down already!
I think Andy had 2 double-doubles there.
Oh my goodness.
And Osse is just about to start that. Right now, Andy... Oh, that was a triple I had missed? Oh. Thank you, chat.
That was a triple Silver Arrow. Holy cow.
Yeah, chat's going to give us a hard time with all of the small things we've messed up.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think we're going to worry too much about that from here on out. Andy's final loadout, 9 energy tanks, 90 missiles, 65 supers, 35 power bombs, and charge beam. I'd say he's well equipped.
Yep. It looks like Andy found that sword in the nick of time.
And for those wondering, Osse found his second sword much earlier in Desert Palace. Due to the routing that Osse took, he was able to just get everything from Desert Palace and thus sword.
Yep, the difference here was that Andy finished a lot of the crystal dungeons much earlier.
Alright, Big Nuki, feel free to lead off on the front half of Torian.
Alright, so our runners have Ice Beam. That's going to be huge here. An Ice Beam plus a Super Missile will kill all the Metroids here in Turian. If the runners did not have Ice Beam, they would have to use 3 Power Bombs per Metroid they were killing here. But Ice Beam is going to make this a pretty straightforward situation. Really, it's just about navigation, trying to line up Metroid just like he did there to take out multiple Metroids with 1 Super Missile to speed the process up. The back half of Turian, it's going to come down to do the runners feel comfortable pulling off a few glitches? Are we going to see Baby Skip? Are we going to see
the Zabitite skip.
Zabitite skip. That's what I was trying to think of. Thank you. And then are we going to see the runners do stand-up glitch?
Alright, we are at the halfway point. Osse on phase 4 of Ganon. Now, there are a number of different ways of doing Baby Skip, and one recent one was discovered involving the Spring Ball.
Yep. So chat, because of no high jump boots, Andy probably will not attempt it. Because typically you need high jump boots to do it, but the new method using Spring Ball, I believe it could be achieved, but it looks like Andy's just taking a bunch of damage, and Andy is not going to go ahead and do the Baby Skip.
But at the very least, he faced right.
Saves a few frames.
Alright. Osse now has earned his single G's. We forgot to mention to give single G's to Andy. Our apologies with everything that's been going on. So, I wanted to take the back half for a reason. First of all,
sure.
Let's heal up. We don't want to go into the final fight with just 1 energy tank after all. Alright, and Andy does have 2 reserves, just in case. So, back half, it works very similar to any traditional boss. We have to take care of an eye door as per usual. And then, everyone, I would like to welcome you to McBrainies, where we have all assorted foods available. We have the Cheerios that will come at you. We have the Twizzlers that are available if you would like a snack. or Andy's wanting to bypass the Twizzlers and does so successfully. And we are right now in the kitchen proper, where Chef Mother Brain is just angry at Samus. But Samus doesn't care. Samus is delivering her own critiques in a very painful and violent way. There is just one little problem with that. You see, when the chef takes enough damage, she gets angry, and you won't like her when she's angry. Big Nuki, you know what the rest of the menu items are? Call them.
You keep going.
Alright. So, it's time to deliver the fast food of death here. We've just seen the blue onion rings. Now we have some chicken nuggets. We may see some french fries from the eyes right there. And don't forget about the ketchup of doom. That kinda hurts. But if we manage to get through all of those condiments, we are kinda having to remember the most important thing. We need dessert to finish up this meal. Have some rainbow-flavored ice cream!
Alright, so Mother Brain Phase 1 is down. Osse onto the Baby Metroid cutscene. Looks like Osse's gonna attempt Baby Skip. Turns off Variant Gravity. The reason Osse turns off Gravity is it's an important part, or Screw Attack, I'm sorry. It's an important part of the Zebutite Skip. Most of these runners do a form of Zebutite Skip where Screw Attack would prevent it from occurring. Does not get the Baby Skip.
Alright. Mother Brain has suffered from brain freeze. That's what happens whenever you have too much ice cream in one go. So now, Andy's able to recharge. I did not see a stand-up glitch attempted, but it's not going to matter. The rest of this fight will go smoothly.
Yep. As long as nothing horribly unforeseen happens, Andy's in real good shape here.
The last Metroid has been destroyed. The galaxy cries in anger. Samus has the Hyper Beam and is ready to deliver the pain.
Osse with a near-perfect Zebutite Skip. But Andy was able to find that crucial second sword just in the nick of time. What a close race we've had.
Indeed. And Andy using that grapple beam, well, had to use it somewhere in this race. Of course, we still have one thing left. Thank you for pressing the self-destruct button. We hope you have enjoyed your time in Turian, and have a nice day. So as much as I am full on canon, I don't think we're going to save the animals this time.
No, I cannot imagine in the finals of a race that Andy has to, probably at this point is assuming after having to dip to find a second sword, is thinking he's behind. I can't imagine we're going to see any saving of the animals. Good escape so far. We're going to see a Shine Spark right here. And from here it is pretty much elementary.
Ooh, the explosions are kind of distracting Andy a little bit, but he's in
There
good
we
form
go.
right now.
Good climb. Avoid some steam vents. And Andy is about to complete in first place, winning this first race with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 39 minutes, and 27 seconds. Get your GGs in chat for Andy.
And in the meantime, Osse performs stand-up glitch and is able to deliver a number of charge shots early. Remember, you cannot take Mother Brain out during this recharging phase. The last Metroid has to die first, otherwise we potentially get a soft lock.
What a race this has been. Holy cow, what a great start to the final best of 5.
Alright, to quote Peakhole 44444, Mother Brain, taste the rainbow.
A beautiful use of the stand-up glitch by Osse101.
Alright, Osse's doing well with the escape so far. Andy has agreed to an interview. We'll get him in here shortly.
Shine Spark. Oh, I had to reset there.
Still gets it though.
Still does get it. I had to do a short charge to get it.
Alright, Osse is just about there. At this point, I think he knows he's in second, but still going to have the animals die. So all we have to do is wait for him to land on the ship.
And coming in second with an official time of 2 hours, 42 minutes, and 10 seconds was Osse101. But right now, we are joined by the winner of the first race this evening in this Best of 5 series. Welcome, Andy. And GG's.
Thanks, GG.
That was a surprisingly fast seed, yet I think it ended up tripping you both up. It's been a long time since I've seen a sword get delayed that long.
Yeah, I wasn't too worried about not having a sword for a while. I'm pretty comfortable with a good bit of dungeons without a sword. But then once I got one in pod, I pretty much just focused on the crystals I could do. Turtle Rock has been a hotspot in a lot of SMZ3 seeds, so I was hoping that Flippers or another sword were in there, but...
How worried were you? And welcome to Osse, GG.
GG. GG, Osse.
Andy, how worried were you when you cleared Ganon's tower and didn't have the second sword?
I was pretty sure I was going to lose at that point, but I was hoping that Fire Rod would have thrown Osse off a little bit, since I got that pretty early in a Pendant Eastern. But I don't really know what I was gonna do if there wasn't one in Thieves Town. I was probably gonna do Bonk Rocks and King's Tomb, but I don't know where I would have got after that for a sword.
Absolutely, yeah. Osse, having gone into desert with the boots, was able to find the second sword in Desert Palace. And so we don't know where the fourth one was. But started out a really quick seed, and then you guys took divergent paths, starting with going into Wreck Ship. Osse made a quick play into Wreck Ship, and Andy, you headed back into Link to the Past and started doing some checks.
Yeah, I was following the speed booster. I took my trip down to Crate and got speed, and so I mainly wanted to do Retrobrin because of the early ice. But then that loops back up to Wreck Ship. Just happened to give me Kane and Pearl.
Yeah, absolutely. You got the Pearl much quicker than what Andy did, but the big thing that happened was Andy kept doing checks and kept making progress, and then was able to loop back around, and everything came full circle in the end.
Okay, Chad is trying to figure out a few things. Andy, what made you decide to skip the shovel?
Honestly, I forgot. As I'm going up GT, I was like, alright, if there's no sword up here, I'm going to check Pyramid, I'm going to do Stumpy and K45, Dig Game, Smith Sequence, and then Village of Outcasts in the Thieves Town. And it just, slipped my mind. My brain was just kind of like on that path to find a sword, so I just simply forgot about it.
Chad also wondering, I think more to Osse than anybody, what was the decision to go to Croc before doing Pendant Dungeons? Obviously, it was huge. It found you flippers, but was there any thought of going and checking, starting some Pendant Dungeon checks?
I was in the area, and I had Wave and Speed. It just made a lot of sense to full clear Croc. But then I realized I didn't have a good way out of Croc. So I had to really work on my speed escapes.
Yeah, both of you made good use of short charges in several places throughout the run.
Yeah, I feel like I lost 3 minutes worth of time through mistakes in this.
Yeah, a very close race. Came down to a few little choices and some small execution. How excited were you guys both to see that both dungeons were that required medallions to enter? You already had the medallion.
Didn't really matter. I was looking for a sword, so the sword was blocking so much. Like, I couldn't use medallions without the sword.
No, that's true. Yeah. At that point, neither of you had found the first sword yet.
Yeah, and chat was certainly giving us a heck of a time for forgetting that now and then, but you two didn't, so that was the important thing. Just so it's clear, 3 swords were found. It was Palace of Darkness, Desert Palace, and Thieves Town. We don't know where the 4th one is. But you two have managed to make a very close game 1. When do you think you'll be ready for the next game?
That's a good question. We haven't talked too much about it yet. Probably not Sunday, but I don't know. We'll figure it out soon, and we'll schedule that bad boy ASAP.
Any other comments about the seed? It seemed like, other than having trouble finding swords, it seemed like a pretty straightforward seed. It was giving you key items pretty early, pretty quick.
Yeah, I think that was like the latest I've gotten Moon Pearl. With having so much Link to the Past stuff already. I think I entered Link to the Past just needing flippers and 2 swords. So it was pretty opposite of what's been happening a lot for me.
Yeah, I had a really late hammer, so that also felt pretty weird. Just having all these half dungeons I could do.
Yeah, absolutely. We were sitting here having seen one or the other of you get these key items fairly early, especially compared to the other runner. Just wondering how long it was going to be until somebody put all the pieces together and then was able to get into go mode. And then you had all the items for go mode before having the sword for go mode. And so it was an interesting hunt, and then again, exciting watching Andy get all the way through the dungeon, checking every chest in Ganon's tower basically, and then having to leave and go hunt for a sword.
I still can't believe there wasn't a sword in all of GT.
Yeah.
There may have been in Tile Room, but no one checked that. It was kind of nice to see the big chest checked, though.
Yeah, you don't see that too often.
And then we were on the edge of our seats for sure when you defeated the second Moldorm and checked the chest, only to find a 20 rupee. But then Chet got real excited with your ridiculously good Aga 2 fight.
Yeah, I got lucky. It's like a 50-50 whether it's even doable or not including what kind of patterns you get. So it just needs
good
to
patterns,
all fall
no
into
blue
place.
balls. And then Chet also got real hyped about the triple silver arrow hit you had.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
are a little tough to pull off with the Master Sword, but
Yeah, my apologies for thinking it was only 2 hits, and I thought you got 2 hits previously.
Yeah, just overall, by both runners, very good execution throughout. Obviously, the routing was a big factor and may have made up the difference in time here, but still a really close race with really great execution all the way around.
Yeah, it's sounding like to me that the late Moonpearl let Andy skip a lot of locations, but then the late Sword forced him to go back and do those checks. And that brought us closer together again.
Yeah, Andy was doing checks in Village of Outcasts that you had done quite a while earlier, looking for the sword, and then you had done the front of Thieves Town, and we had seen that, and you didn't go into the back. So Andy going into the back of Thieves Town was the first time we had seen it, and then when he found the sword, it pretty much had to be there in Thieves Town. If he had gone and do other checks, it was probably going to be too late. But yeah, he was doing checks that you had done earlier because you had Dark World access quite a bit earlier. So it's just one of those situations sometimes that pays off where by the time you get access to Moon Pearl, you've pretty much got all your other items and can just clear dungeons as quick as possible. I have to imagine there's a lot of scenarios where getting Moon Pearl that late in a lot of races would restrict your access to Dark World Zelda and probably hold you back. In this case, like you mentioned, it allowed Andy to skip ahead in a lot of places and clear a lot of things or skip a lot of checks that he knew he didn't have to make. So, well, this was the first of what we all hope to be 5 races. I'm sure you guys would like to, get done quickly, but that was real exciting for us. And if we get some more back and forth races like that, I'm sure Chad is going to get real excited. Makes for great viewing on our end. So thanks a lot, guys, for a very impressive showing tonight.
yeah, it was fun. I'm sure all the other races are going to be pretty close too.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, Wolfman.
Yeah, just shout-outs again to Andy and Aussie for an excellent race. Please give them a follow if you haven't already. Don't forget about our trekker, Link40, and my commentary partner, Big Nuki.
Well, a great first race, very close, and I mean in the finals we expected great execution and a close race, and that's exactly what we all got here the first evening. So best of luck to both of you guys going forward. We're really looking forward to more high quality runs like this. We got at least 2 more and maybe more.
But for those that are wanting a bit of randomizer fixes, We have plenty of it. If you want to head over to Speed Gaming 2, we will have the Speed Gaming 2 Super Mario Bros. 3 Randomizer races. We have 2 of them back-to-back, involving Ibuba 7 and its Paranoia. Speed Gaming 3, we have the 3rd place matchup taking place right, and that is between Solski and Hitaka. If you head over to Speed Gaming 4, in about 30 minutes, we will have the Super Metroid weekly race. There may still be a Super Mario Bros. 3 randomizer race right now. And if you head to Speed Gaming 5, we will have the daily race for Link to the Past randomizer. Swordless. Ooh. Always enjoy a good swordless run. We will let you know as soon as we can when Andy and Osse have set up their next matches.
Yeah, absolutely. Be sure to keep an eye on the schedule, because when that match gets scheduled, we will have that posted, and it should be as exciting as tonight's was.
So I think that will wrap things up here. First of all, Josh, thank you for supporting the Speed Gaming family, but unfortunately, we have to speed boost our way out of here. So, for everyone here, this is Wolfman2000 saying, until next time, watch out for Moldorms and Shack Tools. Game 1 is... Oh, hold on a second, I am receiving word we may have a special announcement.
Nope, I think we're good.
Okay, I may be misreading the upcoming announcement then. Well, if we are good, then again, thank you all for watching. And again, look forward to the rest of the finals.
Thank you everybody for watching, and have a good evening or good day wherever you are.